Well, hi there, boys and girls. Here we are with quick track guide for Autódromo de Interlagos, the Brazilian Formula One track that holds the Formula One Grand Prix nowadays, and the Brazilian track that we have on iRacing. The scope of this guide is mainly for broadcasters to talk a bit about the corner names, a little bit of information, mainly to convey some of the pronunciation of all these names. But of course, it's also aimed at people who would like to learn a little bit more about this great and now classic Brazilian track. The track is officially named Autódromo José Carlos Passe. Now, José Passe was a Brazilian Formula One driver that drove in Formula One between 72 and 77. Unfortunately, in 77, he was killed in a tragic airplane crash. It was a small airplane in his property that ended up crashing. He has only one win in his Formula One career. That was in 1975 at the Brazilian Grand Prix that was held at this track in the old layout. We'll talk about that layout in a second. This track held the Brazilian Grand Prix in the 70s and throughout the whole of the 70s in the old layout. During the 80s, the Brazilian Grand Prix was moved to Rio, to Autódromo de Jacarepaguá. And then in the 90s, actually 1990, it came back to Interlagos, now named Autódromo José Carlos Passe, and the Formula One has been held there, has been there since 1990 to this day, so 26 years there and going. It was in 1990 that we got the new layout for the Formula One. So as you can see here, this black line is the layout that we know now, and that the Formula One races nowadays. It's the layout since 1990. iRacing's track map does have a hint of the old layout in this lighter gray area, lighter gray line. The only bit missing would be this bit over here that connected both layouts. So there was one extremely fast layout that would just go around the track like that. And then there was also the complete layout that would go this way and then into what is called the core of the track. There's these lower speed corners, but it would go this way and then do this 180-degree turn and actually go on the other way to what the layout is today. Would go like that all the way there, around, back here, and then over there to the slower speed corners, and then connect back to the outside track. So let's have a look at some of the corner names of the new layout. I'm going to bring this map here. It's just slightly different. You have the source there, but at least here we have the corner names, and we have the complete old layout in gray there, as you can see. The fast layout with high-speed banked corners outside, and then the new layout, the new shortened layout in black inside. Now, you start with from the pit lane into the first corner, and then you go straight to the Senna S. Now, some people think the Senna S is actually a tribute to Senna, and they're partially right, but it was already known as the Senna S before, and this is because he was the one who suggested creating this sequence of corners to connect the two layouts. As you see, that the old layout used to go this way in a very fast first corner, and here it was the old layout as well. So he came up with the idea of a lower speed S to connect both layouts and produce the layout that we know now. Now, from the Senna S, you accelerate into the faster left-hander Curva do Sol, which is the corner of the sun, and you go to Reto Posta, which basically means back straight. And then the two left-handers there, Descida do Lago. Descida do Lago because there was a lake in there, as you can see from this image right here. This is a picture of the old layout, and then you can see Curva do Lago in the Descida do Lago. Descida do Lago means the lake's descent. So it's a slight downhill there, and it used to go right next to the lake. Back here, from the Descida do Lago, we go to the right hand there, which is called the Ferradura. Ferradura is a horseshoe, and it had that name because you can see in the old layout it was a horseshoe, was a 180-degree corner. That doesn't hold true anymore. From the Ferradura to the Laranjinha, which is that corner with a blind apex to the right. Then you slow down to the S, and from the S, pronounced Essi in Portuguese, you go to the Pinheirinho, which is the corner to the left, slow speed corner to the left. As you can see in this picture, this is the Pinheirinho. It comes from the Curva do S to the right, and then Pinheirinho to the left. And there's a pine tree there right at close to the apex of the corner, hence the name. Needless to say, if you carried too much speed and lost it in the Curva do S, you would end up hugging that pine tree over there before there were any barriers. From the Pinheirinho, very short straight, and then the breaking into the Bico de Pato, the tightest corner of the track. Bico de Pato means duck beak, and needless to say, it's because of the shape that resembles a duck beak. And from Bico de Pato to Mergulho. Mergulho means a dive, and it's a faster left hand there that goes downhill. So you dive into and towards the junção. Now junção means something like a junction or a connection. It used to be what connected the inside or the complete layout, the inside layout, with the outside fast layout. So it connected the two back. As you can see in this picture here, you have corners 3 and 4, which were part of the fast semi-oval outside, and then the junção, which connected the inside of the track to the outside. Basically, the early Interlagos was a bit of a roval, if you wish. After junção, it's considered one of the last corners of the track, because then you have Subida dos Boxes and a couple of other names there, but are basically flat out corner, left-hand corners until you reach the main straight again. So, just one more time, Autódromo José Carlos Passe in Interlagos, which is the name of the neighborhood. You start with S do Sena, with the Sena S, Curva do Sol, Reta Oposta, Descida do Lago, Ferradura, Laranjinha, S, Pinheirinho, Bico de Pato, Mergulho e Junção. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned something from it, and hope to see your broadcasts, and I hope to see you guys on the track. Ciao, ciao.